A recent OCTA Research survey showed that 16 senatorial candidates, including all from the administration slate, are within the winning margin for the upcoming elections. ACT-CIS Party List Representative Erwin Tulfo led the survey with 66%, followed by Senator Bongo with 62%, broadcaster Ben Tulfo with 59%, Senator Bong Revilla with 51%, and former Senate President Vicente Soto III with 47%. Other candidates on the list include outgoing Makati Mayor Abby Binay, Senator Lito Lapid, Las Piñas Representative Camille Villar, former Senator Manny Pacquiao, Senator Pia Cayetano, and TV host Willie Revillame. Also included were Senator Amy Marcos, former Senator Ping Lacson, ex-Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos, and Senators Bato de la Rosa and Francis Tolentino. The non-commissioned survey was conducted from February 22 to 28. To discuss this, we have OCTA Research Fellow Dr. Guido David. Doc, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning to the Angels of One News, Angela.
Thank you
Good morning.
Thank you for the flattery, Doc. Let's talk about your survey. Last time we talked was a couple of weeks ago. No major movements naman. But what is the main thing that you are seeing itong commission survey mo?
Well, the main thing we are seeing is that although the administration candidates are still holding forth, they're still within the magic 12, at least within the statistical margin of error of 3% based on this recent survey conducted February 22 to 28 with 1,200 respondents. Nakita natin may movement din. Yung mga side na endorsed by former President Rodrigo Duterte, like Senator Bongo is number 2, and Willie Revillame is within the top 12 within round of error. Same with Senator Bato de la Rosa. Even Philip Salvador is moving up. He's at 24% voting preference. But we don't count out also the Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino, who are just outside the top 12 round of error, but they're still within range. And anything can still happen. Even former Senator Gringo Hanasan is still there with 24%.
Mm-hmm. And Doc Guido David, well, I noticed a significant increase dito po kay Senator Bongo. Nung January, 60% po siya, but in your February survey, 62% na po si Senator Bongo. What do you attribute all those that increase to?
Well, it must be due to a lot of marketing or ad campaigns. I don't think na-factor in dito sa survey yung recent developments like with the ICC arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. So this was just recent and the survey was conducted February 22 to 28. So I don't think this was factored in. So makikita natin in the next survey kung magkakaroon ng effect yung itong pagka-arrest kay former President.
So kumbaga sir, pangangampanya ang naging biggest contributor?
I think so. Kasi yeah, I think it's part of it. That's why some of the other names, even Attorney Vic Rodriguez went up. The numbers, I'm monitoring their numbers. Even see some people further down the list, like see Jimmy Bondoc or also Colonel Bosita also is up at 12%. So those are very respectable numbers. So yeah, so we're seeing movements with certain groups. Baka may mga endorsements nangyari. We know that they're very solid in some parts of the country, like in Mindanao and parts of Visayas. So maybe that's having an effect to sa respondents.
Doc, based on what you're seeing, ano yung namamayagpag in terms of what contributes to the popularity of a candidate sa survey? Is it, are you seeing those who have a platform against certain issues na, for example, fight against hunger, fight against inflation, or those who are seeking for jobs? Or mas nakikita mong namamayagpag ang those who are affiliated with a Duterte, with a Marcos, or the Robredo side, mas nagre-resonate yung political affinity?
Actually, ideally nga, dapat namamayagpag yung issues-based natin eh. But so far, we're not seeing that the preference is based mostly on issues. Although, I mean, yan naman talaga yung urgent concerns natin eh. Even the Filipino respondents say that in our survey na our urgent concern is, jobs and yung poverty and hunger and food on the table, food security. Pero it's still largely nakikita natin yung effect ng
Politika.
personality. Yeah, like they're siding with certain people. So parang ganun parang okay, kampi ako dito, so ito yung boboto ko.
So it's
Kampi ako dito.
parang yung dati, Doc. Pero in relation to that, no, Doc, I'd like to ask about Willie. Kasi he hasn't spoken yet masyado kung ano yung side of the fence siya. No? It's not really clear. But yet, he's consistently in the 12, 13, 6. Diba? Do you think it's his the Willie brand of giving out money on his game shows, kahit hindi na siya go-host, but it's still under his name, yung programa? Does that affect him?
Definitely. For a lot of people, it's still their own personal branding din naman. And when I talked about yun nga, siding with certain personalities, it affects more of the traditional politician types or those who have been held office for some time or previously. Pero with Willie Revillame, it's similar to the Tulfo phenomenon. They're more of where they stand on their issues. We know they're pro-poor, ganun din si Willie Revillame, but it's more of their own branding. And that's why we're also seeing Lito Lapid being very consistently in the top 12. I think it's his own brand rather than yung endorsement sa kanya. So, kumbaga, some names here stand on their own brand. And maybe that will include people like the former Senator Tito Soto. And some names will need endorsements. And those endorsements will come from families or personalities who have a sizable influence on the voting bloc.
Well, speaking, sir, of candidates with strong brands, no? Parang halos marami sa kanila mga media personalities, di ba? Si Erwin Tulfo, Ben Tulfo, you've got, of course, Lito Lapid as well, Tito Soto, Willie Revillame. But taking a look at other candidates, marami po sa kanila are either incumbent or former senators. Does this indicate voter preference for those with political experience na po?
Well, it mostly indicates that, yes, may political experience and kumbaga parang kilala na sila ng botante because they've been there already. And it also indicates that, awareness is still one of the biggest contributors to voting preference. So if people are not aware of you, it's hard to get conversions. Of course, we see someone like going down the list, ang pinakamatas yung awareness, outside the top 20 or so. Si Pastor Apollo Kibola, he has 88% awareness, but he has 9% voting for. So, but for many other, they're getting somewhere like 90% plus awareness, and that helps them get the votes that they need.
Looking at yung top 20, Doc, while it's still too early to tell sino ang mamamayagpag sa election, more or less, I think you can see already sa 20 or even sa 24 candidates na ito, kung sino ang may consistent trend na pataas. Not necessarily na sa top 10 or 12, pero yung consistently umaangat every survey. Sino ang nakikita mo, Doc, na very consistent, hindi nag-up and down, yung tuloy-tuloy lang ang pagtaas?
Well, very consistent. Si Senator Bongo, the Tulfo brothers, Ben Tulfo and Erwin Tulfo. And then si Bong Revilla is very consistent, and Tito Soto. Manny Pacquiao is quite consistent, although he hasn't been in the top 6 in the surveys. He's always been parang between 7 to 12, but he's consistent. We're also seeing consistency from Pia Cayetano, Senator Pia Cayetano, and as I mentioned, si Lito Lapid is quite consistent. In some surveys, he's as highest number 2. Others na not so consistent, but still there. Yun nga, we mentioned already. Si Abby Binay, we're seeing numbers really, really surging right now. And si Camille Villar, she's also up to number 8 sa survey namin, considering, just a year ago, a lot of people didn't know her, but now she has 98% awareness because of the campaigns. Abby Binay has 95% awareness. So, that has helped them gain traction and be in the top 12, even higher than some of the incumbents. And say PDP-Laban has been consistent, but for some reason, we're seeing his numbers relatively lower in this survey period. But this survey is very dynamic. Maraming changes. Baka sa March survey namin, iba na naman yung makita natin na top 12.
And sir, I wanted to ask about Senator Bato de la Rosa particularly. How do you think the recent developments with the ICC will affect his ranking sa susunod niyo po na survey?
Yeah, that's very interesting kasi it could go both ways. He could get sympathy votes actually because of what's happening with the ICC, and there's rallies and protests going on. But at the same time, there will be those who will view him as because it will be associated with an arrest at ICC, and that might affect him negatively then. So I see it as going both ways, and we'll have to see what the public says. This is the next survey, but so far he's been consistently in the top 12 within the round of error. In some surveys, he's actually higher, maybe even as high as mga top 8 or something. So we'll see how that plays out in the next surveys.
So any dark horses to watch out for, Doc? Kasi may mga madaming umiingay na wala naman sa survey, but it has happened in these elections in the past na may lumilitaw bigla.
Well, so far, nawala na yung mga ibang dark horse natin. Like si Doc Willie Ong was a dark horse of sorts. Governor Chavez Singson was a dark horse of sorts. Right now, I'm seeing siguro si Philip Salvador is, he can have a play at this. So he's within striking distance.
How about, Doc, any progressives?
Yeah, of course, si Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino, both former senators. So I'm starting to see campaigns from both of them. So don't count them out also. They could make a run for it. They're also within the striking distance. And I wouldn't count out some of those administration candidates who are also lower, like si Ben-Hur Abalos. He's still there. He's still within the group. And same with incumbent Senator Francis Toldo-Lentino.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us this morning and sharing your insights. That was OCTA Research Fellow, Dr. Guido David.
Thank you.